So I'm going to show you how to draw a circle or program a circle with the Fanuc robot. This program we've already done. I'm going to show you how to recreate this program from scratch. First thing we're going to want to do is come up here, turn us to edit mode or manual control mode, and I did the same thing on the controller down below. Now I can go in and I can press select. Select allows me to actually key in my program and create a new program. Notice I have menus at the bottom. I'm going to press create, and we're going to go ahead and go to uppercase, and I'm just going to call it C2. Okay. This way I'm not boring you with how you enter things for the program. And then I press enter a couple times, and that gets me to the start of my program. Now for my first step in programming this, I want to have a starting point which is up in the air. So take a look at here where we're up in the air, and then we're going to go down to our starting point number 1 down here. So wherever we're at right now, we're going to move to that starting point. The reason we want to do this, we want a starting point, and then we approach the circle and then actually draw the circle this way. This would be like if we were doing a circular weld or something like that. So I'm going to move to this point first. Notice I've got it labeled as point 1. I'm going to hold the dead man switch in, press reset to get rid of any fault, and then I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm going to move down to the point, the starting point. Now we're going very slow. You can see up here in the upper right hand corner, and it says 10% right now. The robot's going too slow, so I'm going to go down here on the bottom, and I'm going to raise that to 100%. And now when I start pressing to do the movement, it's very fast, okay? So in this case, I'm using Y to go down. You need to know which way is right and left and in and out on your robot. All right, so I need the pin to stick straight up, so I'm gonna adjust that by moving that up and down, using the Y twist on that axis. And then I can use Z to go down. See, Z will take me down, but it takes me down in kind of an arc. So now I need to take Z back up because I don't want to crash. Take my Y down like that. Now I want to go a little slower. I'm going to slow it back down to say 5% so that I can get close to it. And I'm going to move that to my first point. All right, that's my first starting point. Now when I go ahead and I press the F1 key to add a point, I'm going to do this third option, which is the linear point on Fine. And I'm going to press enter and make that one of my entries. Now I'm going to move to my next point. And the first thing I'm going to do to keep from crashing my robot is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move up on my Y-axis or my Z-axis, get it off the plate there. If you don't know how to jog, we'll have to show you that in another video. And I look like I don't know how to jog right now because I'm a little slow at it, but bear with me here. So I'm trying to reach out beyond the point so that when I go down with the Y, ends up landing on the correct point. I don't want to crash my arm into the table, so I'm going to do a twist. I got this set on 5% right now, which is really slow, but that's okay. I'm doing Y up, and then Z, Y up. Then Z. Okay. Now notice I'm not actually touching the paper. I'm not actually going to draw the circle. I'm just going to follow around. Because if we were going to do welding with this, we would have the wire sticking out and we'd be following around the circle. So I want to go ahead and add this point as well. And you want to add it with the same default motion type as you started with, which in this case is linear. Okay. After I start that point, that's now my starting point on my circle. I now need to move to the next point. And I'm going to hold the shift key down to jog and then press Z up and X over to it. Because I want to give me enough clearance so I'm not bumping into it. Of course, this is not the actual motion that it's going to end up doing. It's going to follow right along the edge of the circle. I'm alternating between Y and Z to get there, okay? So now we're there, okay? Now I'm going to add the second point. And when I add the second point, I'm going to do it with the default. But now I'm going to go up here to the actual L for linear. And when I move my cursor to there, I want to get this menu at the bottom that says choice. So I'm going to press choice, and then I'm going to get this menu, and this menu is going to allow me to select circular. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move to point number 4. So I'm going to hold the shift key down, the dead man switch. I got to press the reset if there was an error because I let go of the dead man switch. I'm going to take Z to get me up like this, and then I'm going to move across. I've got to get it to reach a lot further. I'm going slow so I don't crash anything. So I'm having to move my Z and my Y, alternate between Z and Y to get a lot more reach. Not going to crash into the table. And then I'm going to do the twist to get the pin facing back down again. If you were doing welding, you're trying to get the welding torch to be right on target. So I'm going to do the twist again to get to the point. Okay. Cheating. Let's take a look here. All right, we're going to get it there. Get it right on the point. Okay? There we go. So now the key part that we're about to do now is we've got this whole circular motion. These last two lines are trying to define a circular motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over here to the left, And when I get it to the left of that last line, it wants me to teach the circular end position. And you see the touch up here on the screen. And I can hold shift and press a touch up, or I can press touch up. Hold shift and press touch up like that. And it will say position has been recorded to 0.4. And notice we are at 0.4 up here on the robot as well, where I told it to go to. That's why I went ahead and numbered these 1 through 4 like that. Okay? So now we're going to repeat this process for the next point, 0.5. And the way we repeat this process is I'm going to hold down the shift key. I'm going to take Z to get me up. And do X to move it over. And I ran into the limit of how far the robot can reach right now. So I'm going to have to clear that error and get back in range again because I'm trying to reach too far. This one has some limits set so that it doesn't crash into the cage or the fence. All right. Okay. And I'm at the point where I want it to be. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time. I'm gonna press point. I'm gonna give it the exact same linear motion that we started with. Press enter. And that's important to do. Apparently it doesn't work for some reason if you don't do that. Then I'm gonna use the arrow key to arrow up to go to L, which is the linear again. I'm gonna go back here to the choice menu that now popped up under F4. Okay. Then I'm going to go down and I'm going to select circular motion for that and press enter. Okay. And that recorded that as 0.5. Now, the thing is, the next thing that we would do if we were going to repeat this sequence is to go and move it to the next point. But we don't have to. The last point that we have is 0.2, which is on the circle. So I can just go ahead and key that in, okay? I can go ahead and do 0.2, because that was my starting point on the circle. I've got 2, 3, I've got 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm just gonna go back to 0.2, okay? So I'm gonna put in 0.2, and I entered value, and I pressed enter, and see it's got a 0.2, okay? Now, to make life really interesting, I don't want to end with it sitting on the circle at the very end. I'm going to go ahead and hold the shift key down and clear the error where I was resting my hand because the dead man switch gets tiring sometimes. And then I'm going to move away, okay? And that's going really slow. Now that I know I'm moving in the right direction, I'm going to move away really quickly. And move, oh, I hit a limit, another limit. All right, so, and we're gonna leave it at that point, okay? So I wanna put one more point into my program. I'm gonna press point, and I'm gonna press enter again, and I got a 0.6, which is now back up in the air again, okay? Now to make it real interesting, let's go ahead and go up here to the top, because right now if we run it, it's just gonna do it one time. Well, let me show you how you run it and just do it one time. We're gonna switch over here to off to go to automatic. I'm gonna switch the controller to automatic. I'm gonna press the reset switch, and then I've got a problem. It says fence open, okay? So to go to automatic mode, I've gotta have everything closed. Then I'm going to reset the fence open by pressing the reset button. All my faults go away. And now I'm going to press the start button. And what it's going to say, run request failed, program 40 already locked by another task. So we need to press to clear. So what's happening is there's another program still out there ready to run. So we're going to press function, and it'll bring up this menu, and we're going to press enter for abort all. And that's going to abort the other programs. We're going to reset that error so we're clear. Now I'm going to go back and press the green go switch. And that's really slow at 10%. I'm going to ratchet that up so you can see it move pretty good there. Run it up to even faster. So notice that was only one iteration and it stops. If I press the button again, it does another iteration and then stops. So let's make it a little bit fancier. Let's turn it back to manual mode editing, okay? And I'm going to use I'm going to go to the other command, okay? Edit command. I get an insert, and then I'm going to come down here and press enter. How many lines to insert? And I'm just going to insert one. Enter. Okay? So now I've got a line inserted. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press the instruction button. And I'm going to go down to jump and label. So this will allow us to jump to a label. But first I got to put the label at the top. And I'm going to make this label number 1 and enter that. Okay? Now I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to do edit command again. That's going to give me an insert. And then I'm going to say one line to insert. That's going to insert a line at the end. And now I can come up here to where it's got instruction again. And I'm going to go down to jump label. And I want to jump to that label, number 1, enter. So what that's going to do is it's going to make a loop. There's label 1 up there, and when it gets to the end, it's going to jump to the label, and it's just going to go in a circle when it runs automatically, okay? So let's give this one a try, okay? I'm going to press the reset switch. I'm going to turn this to auto run. Turn the controller back to auto. Okay, I'm going to reset any errors. And I'm going to press the green button. And I want it to go a little faster than that, so I'm going to run that speed up to 100%. And it will do that until we tell it to stop. And that's it.